Hello guys and welcome to Supreme Ruler 2030. Today I'm going to be taking on the China campaign. I've done every other campaign here on release, and now that it's been, what, 2 months or so since release, something like that, we've gotten a lot of time for bug fixes and other things like that, which my last 2 campaigns really ran into a lot of bugs. Namely, the one that will probably be the most relevant here is the one we ran into with Russia, where low GDP nations were not playable because the AI ran out of money consistently, and so you had no one to sell your goods to. Hopefully that is fixed. We will test it out today. Fixed or not, I have a sandbox planned after this, which will be Israel. That's high GDP. That should be fun. But for now, let's take on what is in front of us today, which is China is strongly determined to reclaim disputed territories, reflecting our deep historical legacy and the desire to restore our rightful position among China's great leaders. We have patiently dealt with global reactions to our territorial claims. Now, it is crucial to launch a major campaign, showing our commitment to regain these territories under our control. Okay. This grammar could use some work. They're not using the commas right. Despite opposition, we remain steadfast in our noble cause. It is time to stop those who have taken our former lands and bring them back under our unwavering rule. Our goals extend beyond land to the surrounding oceans, which we are determined to protect. Those who challenge our claims will face our strong forces. Together, we shape our nation's future, ensuring the return of China's territories and preserving our remarkable history. Okay. It seems, by the way, make China one. Welcome to the China campaign. It seems that as the political climate changes to support more Western ideologies, the world no longer views China with the respect we once had, and use meaningless restrictions and sanctions to unjustly penalize us. No, they really got in character for this one. These ideologies have infected nearby Asian nations and have harmed our relationship with our neighbors. Our most trusted Chinese advisors have suggested making our mark by reclaiming our people, our land, and our dignity by force. I don't know if this was an intentional thing, but I love how they said our most trusted Chinese advisors, not our most trusted advisors, you know, like of the government. No, it's like Chinese advisors teaching you how to be Chinese or something. It just sounds funny. Our first order of action would be to take back the defected Chinese regions of Tibet and Unfortunately, these regions have fallen victim to anti-Chinese propaganda and have severed ties with us. Let's set them on the right path and make China one. Alright, and so we're in. This is the campaign I played the most of in the beta. And I remembered this country started as the most both of these started as the most powerful nations on the planet. From what I remember, they've greatly scaled them back. They just start with all their units deployed at the start. Now, unfortunately, I simply cannot predict everything it's going to want me to do beyond this point. So I'm just have to make allies as best I can. North Korea seems like a very obvious ally for China. So we have, make sure I don't accidentally sign a research cooperation with a country this campaign, please. Because I did that during the America campaign. So it's just this. We can't even see what text they have, but everything with North Korea. We can get everything with Russia. That seems smart to me. Bullies unite. We can get everything with Ukraine, sure, because that balancing hasn't changed since the start of the game. Oh wait, no, they won't say yes. Okay. They love us, but they won't say yes. But I do remember when you start as like Russia, Ukraine, you can ally each other in 2030, which makes absolutely no fucking sense, but whatever. Belarus, sure. Lithuania, sure, I'll take that too. Romania, I mean, I'm just gonna fucking ally with everyone that will take it. Everybody that will take an alliance with me is gonna get an alliance with me. And as I get alliances, more people are gonna want alliances with me. Like Ukraine, we're gonna get them. Now, most of these allies over here are not going to fucking matter at all. They won't, because they're too far away to fucking do anything to help me. But doesn't mean I can't get them anyway. Again, some of them just aren't gonna say yes right now, but make the world like me more, and the more allies I collect, you know, the more everybody likes me, and just the better things go for me. More the UN likes me, bigger bonuses I get to my trades on the world market. That's always good. I missed this one. Okay, a lot of these over here just really like me, but they won't join me yet. Not until a couple of others sway their opinion. I could sway their opinion with money, but I could also just let them naturally be swayed, because that's really just what's gonna happen once a lot of alliances start completing anyway. Some of the, oh god, so many of them are so close, but just no cigar. There's really nobody else over here. Unlike a lot of the other countries we've tried now, 2 of them, I guess. People just don't like us. They don't like China. I wonder why. Let's befriend the Taliban. Best buds. I'm sure we could be best buds. I'm going through all my designs and my tech and my units to set up like I do every campaign of every sandbox of everything of Supreme Ruler. And I must say, they've made this a lot easier. They've added this new minister priority build here. So instead of having to double click to exclude, I can just, and then, you know, exit out. I can just click, done. They've reduced the workload for this by, I'd say 3 times, if not more, because I hardly even need to move my mouse. Like, it's really just as simple as finding a bunch of shit I don't want and then just boop. Oh, well, now it decides to act up. Yeah, okay, so this was a bug I noticed as well. One problem with this new super convenient thing is, and it was working perfectly on everything above here. It was working perfectly. And I actually made a speech about this already. I just had my recording paused and I forgot about it. When the list is long, the further you go down the list, it starts to disappear off the fucking screen. So it's really cool. Just use it from the top of the list to the bottom of the list. Otherwise, you can't use it. So that's a thing. Also, here's another thing I pointed out while I accidentally had my recording paused, is they added this new thing here that shows you text that you've researched that modify this. So boosting its attack, for example. That's really cool. I like this. This is neat. This is a neat way to see some changes you made, some upgrades. However, this is also broken, because if I go from the Black Panther to this, it spills out of the box. Come on. This is like, ignoring that this is also spilling out of the box, right? If you make a box, make the text and the icons fit in the box. There's no way you designed this and didn't notice that you had allowed it to go out of the box. There's no way. I refuse to believe it. It is nice to see improvements have been made. However, it is also not nice to see that after all this time, there's still bugs from beta. So you'll notice, if you look closely, every time I zoom, you can look at China, you can look at this little line here, which this is a bug in itself, probably. You'll notice it's shaking. Yeah, just when you zoom in this game, the map shakes. And it's kind of annoying. Doesn't affect me too much. I can live with it, which is good. Because when I reported it, I was told that I'll just have to live with it. I also pointed out that this was in Galactic Ruler as well. I assumed maybe it's just like the new graphics engine or something. They just uniformly broke the zooming in every game that they have. But apparently it's impossible for this to be related. But it is in this game. It's been like this since the beta. It's in Galactic Ruler right now. And I'm sad to see it is still here. I'm happy to see the improvements that have been made since the last time that I've played. I'm also unhappy to see that some of these improvements come with more bugs. I was hoping there would be more bug fixes by this point. I'm up to naval stuff. I've been doing this for like an hour now. I noticed another bug, which I think was in the America playthrough. If I hover over to get the preview here for stats, I can see the damage. For example, 16 damage to ships, 56 range. And I come to the sheet here and it's like damage and no range. I don't know why that's a thing, but that makes this harder. Ew. So I've just reached the part of dealing with research. Apparently they did not deem their little button that they put under the units, which is very helpful, even if it is broken, as deserving a spot here. So I have to say goodbye to all that convenience and start doing things the old way for research, which is really, really weird. I don't know why you would put that feature for one screen, but not another screen? That's very inconsistent UI. Hopefully they uniformly spread that feature to everywhere that it makes sense, aka to here, and also fix that bug. Speaking of, I could just tell you what I've done so far. So for the infantry, I've narrowed it down to the ZBL-09. It's just a standard APC filled with infantry. It was either this or a tracked one that had some slightly better combat stats, but its range was definitely nerfed. And when I say slightly, I mean it was slightly worse. This one also has some better initiative as well, so I just decided to go with this one. It's amphibious too, which is sweet. Our recon is also amphibious. We didn't really have as many options with the recon. This is not a good recon, but unfortunately it's the best one that I had. This recon will not be winning us any wars. In fact, it can't even keep up with this infantry, even remotely, but it's the best we have. For the tank, I went with this Black Panther one, which has some nice spillover. A lot of them do. This is not the best tank we had access to. It's one of the newest, and I went with this one because it's more cost efficient than the prior one. I think its range was like a little bit longer too. Way more cost efficient, just combat stats are a little bit lower. I thought it was worth it for the amount of money we were saving. Because, again, we're playing China, one of the lowest GDP nations in the world in terms of capita. Meaning, if they haven't fixed how the AI handles finances, we're going to have the same problem as Russia where everyone just runs out of money and then we're fucked and we can't complete the campaign anyway. So, let's try to endeavor to save money where we can. For anti-tank, I went with the ZTL-11, which we are already making a ton of. We already have a bunch of them. It can keep up perfectly with our infantry, which is great for uniformity. It's cheaper than our infantry. Its stats are good. Yo, this anti-tank can take on infantry honestly fairly well. This is like a competitor to our infantry. Like there's just an inversion of it's slightly more effective against hard than soft targets. So, wait, what the fuck? Close attack. Wait, what the hell? Developers, I found another bug. The close attack? Well, for some reason you named the soft attack the close attack, developers. I'm gonna assume that was not intended, so here it is. You should probably fix that. Thank you, you're welcome. Have a nice day. But yeah, that's a choice that I made there, why I made that. Artillery, you might see I was a little less decisive. Now, we had way more options. I put these here just for the hell of it. We're not really going to use these, but I just thought I'd keep them here to look at them for a little bit. This is where I started getting really confused. I've noticed this across all my playthroughs of SR 2030 so far, and that's that MLRs are just unstoppable. This range of 230, 124, and much better movement range, like much better movement range. It's kind of why I have both of these at once. I want one to be a little more mobile. So I found that weird. Compared to this, which is just normal arty. 41 range. Why would I ever use this? Also less movement range. Over this. They have the same exact... Actually, no. I take it back. This one is easier to airstrike. It can take attacks from, other tanks and whatnot better. But... It can take arty attacks a little bit better, but airstrikes aside. Like for just the slightest amount of damage reduction and defense reduction, I can 3 times my range. Or, what is this? Like fucking 6 times my range with MLRs? And then I can also shoot missiles on top of that. Why would I ever want to use these? I don't know. So I might end up cutting these out. For now, they're gonna stay there. But I can't understand, I feel like they've completely negated the purpose to any arty that is not an MLR in SR 2030. I've noticed this. I don't see a purpose using anything that's not an MLR. Here's my AA. I did have an AA that was better than this. Well, better? Yeah, better stat-wise. But it had like 250 movement instead of 800. And I really valued that range. I think this was also cheaper. It's much newer as well. I value the range because we're going into supply devoid hellholes for our first objectives. And even then, look at the landmass we're dealing with here. This is a supply map. We need things that have a lot of range and can survive in low supply environments. Because, I mean, look at this along the road right now. 18% supply. I'm going to make a supply hub around here. And also leading into Tibet. I'll make a couple of them. But still, it's not a solve-all thing when your only infrastructure along a road is... Well, there's just one road, and then you need to try to get supply hubs wherever you can. Oh yeah, while looking over here, I found this weird-ass thing. There's a military complex building aside a road with an airfield. No. Why would I want that? Can we get rid of that? Like, why is the airfield here, but the military complex is not? Just scrap the entire hex. I don't want this. It's not even on a road. I don't even want it there. I'll build my own things over here, thank you. Whoever placed that, I don't know what you thought I would do with it. Oh, hey, look at this. There's a military base over here with an orbital launch pad and all that stuff. Another military complex building here with a supply depot. Huh. Maybe I see what they're trying to do here, but... they're trying to add supply where there isn't already supply. Thing is, there's already supply over here. There's already some supply over here. It's fine. We don't need that one. There's already supply here as well. There isn't supply here, so I think I might let this one build. Because then I can extend with roads and rails if I need to. Big emphasis on the if I need to. It's already there. It might just autocomplete anyway, so I'll let it. Look at this. Also, military complex supply depot. Why is it all building? Why isn't it already built? There's another thing here. And these don't show up on the building. I was looking under facilities, and these don't show up on the building. Why did you put this here? Did you put this here because you've tested and the AI just charges into the fucking, like, jungle or something? And it doesn't do smart things. So you, rather than modify the scenario or something to have it there, you just added in like a build order script at the start or something, and then had it insta finish. Like, is that what you're doing? Is that why this is the case? Because I don't know why I would need supply here. Look at supply, it's fine. We don't need this here. This seems completely unnecessary. Yeah, no, I don't want this one. Scrap the entire hex. And I'm still not sure if I want this one, because what is out here? Is there even a resource out here that I could take advantage of? Okay, there is. There's coal. I doubt we'll need to take advantage of coal when we have all this other coal. But, yeah, no, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Now, just get rid of this one, too. Why? Why? Hey, look, there's not even supply to build this up, so it must be an auto-completion or something. I'm just going to scrap those, because we don't need them. I'll keep this one. We don't need any of these other ones that they're auto-building. I basically just excluded all my transport, everything, because I'm just going to end up researching a new transport unit for land, for air. I have these two helicopters I'm not really sure what to do with, because this is just a good example of, like, new tech versus the stuff I'm used to. This WZ-11 is inferior in every single way to the WZ-10, except for movement range, speed, and the fact that it can carry missiles, rather than just using standard attacks. Missiles could theoretically give it an edge. It adds a whole new level of micro and stuff. But it seems to be exactly what this game is focusing on now. It's like, you're not getting things just based on stats now. Just the ability to have missiles is supposed to be revolutionary. And it probably is. From what I've heard, they've rebalanced air to be extremely weak and dependent on missiles in many cases. So I've narrowed them down to this, but at the same time, I feel like I should just have it on the WZ-11 because it has missiles and because that's probably going to be more important than just a normal helicopter. I'll get back to that. Interceptors of the J-20. It's my most maneuverable fighter that I can have. It's the best one. It has the furthest attack ranges. I'm also keeping the J-8H because it's the only one that can hit high air targets, and I value that ability. Plus, it has missiles to make up for anything else that it lacks. WZ-10. I'm ever so unsure about this. Let's just get rid of WZ-10. Let's embrace the times. Missiles, baby. Attack bombers. We have 2. And the reason we have 2 is because I actually didn't sort through these ones yet, but it just seems like the A is a continuation of the just normal 7 by like 20 years almost. And you gain more missile space, you gain more missile everything, you pay less. I don't know why we would use the normal 7, so yeah, get rid of that. It's inferior in every way. Multi-role is J-16 Shenyang. There wasn't really many other options that were remotely as relevant. It's kind of close to the J-20, but not as good. We only have one strat bomber. And it's from 1969. So, I don't even know if I should keep this. Like, what are we really going to use this for? For its missiles? We could start nuking bitches? Like, that's really all I can think of. 12 missile capacity. You know what? I could put that in my fucking TAC bomber. So then what's the point of this? There is no point. Get rid of it. There is no point. Get rid of it. Patrol, I've narrowed it down to this AWACS. AWACS are expensive, but this is the best recon plane I could find. There weren't any others that really had ASW capabilities, which negates the point of calling this a patrol plane if you ask me, but is what it is. 3 transport planes that I've kind of kept in here. A tanker, for obvious reasons. Then an actual transport plane. And then a transport helicopter that's Russian in design and can actually engage in combat as well. This one's a little outdated, don't know if I'll keep this, but it doesn't need an airstrip to operate, so I thought that could be valuable. Finally, over to ships. We have 3 submarines, because I really don't know what to pick. There's a nuclear submarine that's pretty good. It's just pretty good, yeah, that's all I really have to say. There's an older nuclear submarine that can carry ballistic missiles, has crazy missile capacity. So that seems valuable. I don't know how valuable. I don't really think it's valuable enough to pay 1 billion, all this other stuff. I don't know what I would need ballistic missile capacity there for. I mean, if we go to the nukes to subs, nuke launch. Yeah, max missile size 10 needed so it could carry 3, and that's really its only saving grace, is that it can carry these nukes that the other subs cannot. Then we have this normal sub that's just not nuclear at all, but its stats are... they're equivalent. They're equivalent, and in some cases, they're better than the standard nuclear submarine. The only difference is that it cannot carry missiles that are as good. Its missile capacity is 3 as opposed to 6. However, it's fucking cheap. It's less than half the price of this, and it's like 1/5 of the price of this. Makes me really just want to narrow down to that, because my subs are not really going to see a lot of missile usage with how I expect this campaign to go. Until we maybe get some more modern submarines. This old Russian one really accomplishes what I need conventionally for a fraction of the price. Alright, let's go for the money saving then. We're not America, we don't have money. This game might still be poorly designed for low GDP nations. We have a carrier, only one. Wasn't really a choice to make there. No cap ships available. Narrowed down the escort ship to the Luzhou. It's got good range, it's got ASW, it's got everything I want. It's a good escort. Patrol ship, this is the only one that remotely made sense to use. It was the only patrol ship that had any ASW capacity at all, which in my opinion, that's like the entire point of having a patrol ship, is something close range, cheap, can kind of hurt bigger ships, and, you know, mass producible, and has AS fucking W. Then we look at transport. Pretty simple. I narrowed it down to 1 normal transport. Not the most cost effective. Honestly, the civilian transport is more cost effective, but I like standardization, even if it's not as efficient. So we got this one. It's got pretty great range. It's got better range than civilian transports. Great, amazing capacity. Like 7 or 8 times the capacity of a civilian transport, so that's good. And then we have like a big landing ship, which I doubt we'll need in this campaign, but we have it. It's here. We already own some of it. There was some worse ones as well. I don't know what I'm going to do with the ones we already have built, but I definitely got rid of the design for production. Now for the magic of other units, of course, we're getting the naval engineers. I got a new landing ship that seems way more price efficient, just in case we ever need it. I'm researching the Z-18J AEW. Among other things I recall, they don't really line these up very well. They don't organize this very well at all. Now there's an ASW as well. These are patrol planes. One's a helicopter. They both have ASW capabilities, so these are, in my opinion, more fitting for what I want these things for than the one I currently have. So I decided to go with that. I just have the AWACS at the moment. There's another thing here, the Y-15 Enchi. This is from 2041, apparently. It's a very, very cost-efficient patrol plane, just like recon plane that has no combat capabilities, but it doesn't need it. It's super cheap compared to everything else, so I just thought I'd go with that. Next, we have the new supply vehicle I said I'd be getting. It's a supply vehicle. It carries supplies. It has some better armor to defend itself, some good reaction time. That's always good. Less likely to get blown up. Updated armor bridging. There's not much to see here. It's just updated armor bridging. It's just lacking in engineer or amphibious capabilities. I just throw one of those over there, and then we're golden. We have the BMPR, which is going to be leagues ahead of our current recon. Much better movement capacity. The stats are generally better as well. The recon's definitely much better. I'll be way happier with that under our belt than anything else. There's these 3 helicopters. They're all Z20 and they're different variants. One is just standard. It also has some carrying capacity, so it works kind of like a transport. An AT variant, which just has no cargo, but it's very good against tanks and other hard targets. And then an ASW version, which is what I'd like from patrol helicopters, but I just thought I'd take this in all of its variants. I think that would be pretty cool. In addition, we have the K-20. This is a new sub. It's kind of like the current one that I kept, mostly just for non-nuclear purposes. Twice the missile capacity of the current one. I did keep in the research the Mukden. This is one specifically for ballistic missiles, 65 missile capacity or size, 260 capacity. That's way more capacity to shoot missiles with than the one we had available to us right now. Don't know if I want though. It's 2 billion a pop versus like maintenance. Every year, 2 billion, 3 billion a pop to build versus 275 million maintenance, only 445 to build. We don't really need the capacity it would give, and this has all the other stats we would possibly want. So that's why I'm prioritizing this. We have a new escort. It's just an upgraded escort. Nothing really stands out too great. The ranges are higher for attacks. The attack defense values are slightly higher. The numbers there are pretty small. We have a new infantry we're going to research. It's got the same movement capacity as the prior one. The other stats are just a teensy bit higher. Everything's a little bit more efficient, so figured I'd go with that. Next up, we have a new battleship. Our first battle. We don't have any battleships, but now we will. The Nanjing. It's really nothing special. Modern battleships are not very special, and this is no exception, but it has some missile capacity. It's just a destroyer on crack. That's like the best way to describe modern battleships. It's a destroyer on crack, especially the way that they're categorized in this game. I actually got rid of our carrier that we had. It's from 2015, and so we're not going to build any of those. And just in case this ends up being needed, I don't really think we'll need any. This is the nuclear, like, next step. Way more fucking expensive, but the stats in every regard are higher, and it can carry 7 aircraft on it at once compared to 2. The math of efficiency of like how much you spend on each one in the long term really made me favor this one. Like compared to the capability, this one seemed to just be more worth it financially. So I thought I'd just throw that in there. It's like a shopping list. Then our next fighter aircraft will be the Pekela 10. This is just a straight up upgrade in literally every single way from our J-20. Looks great to me. Went ahead and went for that one. Then a strat bomber, because you know I got rid of our current strat bomber. This is the Hong 8 H8. This one actually has amazing missile size and capacity. It has great range. Its other stats are decent. It's a little outdated already, you know, 2006, but it's something. So I decided to take that something. And then with that, all the units we're sorting through are sorted through. I still have to go through missiles and a couple of other setup things, but next episode we will be unpausing and going for sure. For now, I am out of time. So this has been a fun little return to Supreme Ruler 2030. Cute to see some of the things that have changed. A little annoying to see some of the things that haven't changed yet. But hopefully this campaign goes well without the hitches of the Russia campaign. Either way, for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.